Everyone, stick with us versus herd. If it's your first time here, you're enjoying the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications from when we go live or post content, tap the bell. And if you want to join the UVH fam, links are below to our free options trading group and our Discord. I know it's been a while. If you don't know who I am, kind of run UVH. Been taking a little easy here. Let's see if we can. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. And we'll sip of this. And, quite the days in the market. If you're here right now, say what up. Say what's going on, Jeff. How you doing? Internet. Okay, looks like everything's good. What's going on, Daniel? Just making sure my settings are right. Haven't done a live stream in a minute, but I have been posting some content lately, so just getting things popping here. Watching some CNBC on my iPad. Was chatting in the Discord. Today we had the S&P up 11, Dow's down 74, and Nasdaq's up almost 30, which is pretty crazy to think that this morning at one point Dow was down 130. At one point, we came down to like 130, got a little bit back here, and then S&Ps were down. Come on. Oh, we got two Daniels. Daniel Edwards, what's going on? Daniel Ring, what's going on? S&Ps made a huge comeback, which we'll talk about. S&Ps reaching all new highs here, and then we had the Nasdaq, which was getting real hurt this morning and just ripped. It just ripped right up the Nasdaq. And we were Nasdaq was at 79.40, went up almost 100 point swing there. So it's been a wild ride for tech stocks. I mean, stocks in general. I mean, we knew it was going to get a little crazy because, I mean, this is a big earnings week. One of the things I want to talk about today was missing opportunities and not beating yourself up about it, because I noticed that I was reflecting a little bit on my own what I was doing. I also have a couple plays that I did today. I've been kind of going low and slow in terms of trading, just kind of trying to get. I took a little bit of a break. A lot of things going on in my personal life, so I took a step back from streaming, making videos, and trading, and just trying to get everything organized, get everything right, and going into the market, not going in as fully leveraged as I'm used to. I've been trading very, 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 very small. So a couple of plays that I did today, just to kind of go through it real quick. Here I had Microsoft and SPY. Now Microsoft, let's look up Microsoft here for a second. So Microsoft, as you can see here, I bought it for $218 on August. Let's see here, on 7/22, and then I sold it for $221 today at 10:20 a.m. And you're like, man, that's not very good. That's only, you're only showing $3 in your realized P&L, and I agree, it's not great. But if you're looking at Microsoft here, had to be bull to hold all day. Yeah, Daniel, I'm with you, man. I definitely chickened out. So the reason why on what was the day that I put that on? It was on 7/22. So 2 days ago. 2 days ago, that Microsoft trade right there. 2 days ago. So this is today. I put on. So I had the 139. Let's zoom in here. I had the 139. I had it for expiration last week, so I put it on Monday. Today's Wednesday. I put that trade on, and we were kind of chilling here, which was looking good. I had the 139 call, and then yesterday, which kind of I'm not gonna say freaked me out, but we gapped up a bit, went to 140 yesterday, and just got destroyed. It came all the way down to 138, and made its way back, so I held. And then today, we were up some money right in here, right when it was like 139.80, 74, something like that. Right in these candles right here, I sold my position because it was taking a long time to get where we were. It wasn't profitable until today. I mean, yes, it did go up. It did hit my targets. I mean, on Discord, I was saying I was looking for like 141 on this, and it was just taking a long time to get to where we're going. So I figured there's other opportunities in the market that I can make better use of my capital. Even though, I mean, it was a small trade. I mean, we didn't lose money. I said today we're not gonna be losing any money. The only other trade that I did today, I actually did a 1 day trade today. So today I did let's clean this up a little bit for you. I did a SPY trade, almost made 50% on it. Just trying to get back into the groove, making sure I'm identifying trends okay, areas of support, resistance, making sure you're on point with the news. You kind of know what's going on. So I mean, if you've been trading the market, or maybe you haven't been trading the market, you kind of have to always have stuff in the back of your mind saying, okay, what's going on tomorrow. We know it's going to be a high earnings week. So I didn't really want to swing trade a lot of stuff because I've been swing trading Microsoft and it hasn't been really panning out. And last week I swing traded Baidu for a few days and it was kind of the same story. It didn't do anything. And then finally this week Baidu finally decided to move. So I lost like $100 last week on Baidu, but is what it is. So today let's see here, 1108 SPY. Let me zoom in on this guy. I don't know if you can see. Oh, no, you can't. So I bought it for 92 cents and I sold it for 130. And if you're looking here, that was at 11:08 this morning. So I'm Central. So right in here, when it was like 299.90, right around here, it was tapping 300. I was like, okay, this thing, yo, PB, what's going on? Ahmed, what's up? When it was tapping 300 here, I'm like, all right, well, we're going to. I did put a stop loss on this. Was okay. I'm gonna push it up. My target's like I'm gonna ride it till it gets up to 301 today, and my stop loss if it goes down to like 299.55, I think was it. I'll cut my losses and move on. So the risk was small. The risk was small. I was risking 92 cents on this, and I did sell it for $1.30, and we just had a nice rip to all-time highs here. It just kept giving, and it's not always that easy. I mean, I definitely cut it way too early, so I sold it when it was like, what time was that? It was like 360 cents, I think it was. So I sold it at 123 today. So right in here, it was right before this candle. Yeah, it was like right in here. It was like it was in the 60s. I know it was like 300 and some change. Yo, what up, FC? If you're here right now, say what up. So nice to see some familiar faces here. Makes me feel like I'm at home. You guys really are the UVH fam, so I've been missing you guys. But that was the thing. One of the things that I want to talk about today. So those were the trades. Had some nice small trades, hit some targets. It was good. Yeah, I've been chatting with Hamed up on Twitter. What's going on, King Jacob? Anyways, one of the things, when it comes to trading, we all kind of reflect on our mistakes, on the things that we do well, and then obviously the opportunities that we don't make. I mean, it's very common that we hear is like, oh yeah, I paper traded this and I did great, but then when I went with real cash, I didn't do as good. I didn't do as well. And then same thing is like, oh, I saw this trade, and now if I would have been in this trade, I would have been up 400% or 100%, or coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? And goes back to today. So Netflix today, as you know, Netflix has definitely bombed earnings, and they missed their subscriber count by I don't know how many million, but it was a lot. And I've been watching it because I'm like, okay, when Netflix moves this much, it's going to most likely either recover or it's just going to drop a whole lot, which is kind of in a dangerous area in here. if we're looking back here, I mean, there is some areas of support, but not great before it kind of fell apart. We're going back into, November, December, and January territory here when things really fell apart for Netflix, and it kind of dangling here, and then this being very, it's been descending just like crazy. It's just been descending. Did bounce off of here at like 310, 305. The 305 area, if you look over the last couple of days, 305 bounced here at 305, bounced up here pre-market at 305, and then obviously led to the rip today. And you're like, well, I don't understand. There's a lot of people like, I don't understand. We should short this to zero. They're going out of business or whatever the case is. King Jacob, me too, man. But you got to go with the money. We don't have enough money to do what we need to do. But this morning, we don't have enough money to swing the vote or push the price. But this morning I was looking at it right in here where it was just kind of mellowing out. We had a nice rip up to 312, came back down to 306. I was kind of thinking, all right, this is a very good opportunity for to day trade the 310 calls. 310 calls, and I think that my mistake in doing this was that, or not doing this, my mistake was I didn't put in a like a stop loss. I didn't say, okay, well, if it goes like I did with SPY. So, if it goes to 305, I'll take it off. Or if it goes to 306 and it breaks through, this is a very typical play that I would do. If it bounced off 305 for the last couple times and the price was currently 308, 307, that means it gives me some wiggle room. If it goes down to 305 and falls apart, it's probably going to go lower, and I should have used that as my kind of my safety net. But instead, I didn't do anything. In Netflix, I was looking at the 310 calls to trade for this week, and at the time they were like $280. They were like 280. So right down here, right here was like 280 at that time. These calls here. And as you can see, within half an hour, they were worth double, and then they actually hit a high of 1051. So when you're looking at that and kind of reflecting, is like, instead of feeling bad that, I didn't make the 200% or whatever I was going to make or could have made, it's not, you have to reflect on why you didn't pull the trigger. Like, why did I not pull the trigger? This is a very typical setup that I trade very often, where it's near bouncing off a certain number and it looks like it may reverse when it consolidates like that. I guess I anticipated the consolidation to be a little bit longer. I made some good old option trading in my Roth past week. Congrats, Hamed. I was anticipating that the consolidation period was going to be longer, I guess. And then the other mistake that I made was I didn't put in a mental stop loss that would save me from myself from letting it go to, letting my option go to zero. So instead of, okay, well, if it goes down to 305 and go 304 area, 304.50, we should probably get out and reevaluate and trade something else, But in this case, it would have worked out beautifully. But then you're kind of reflecting, I missed this opportunity, I did this. But, the good thing is that you were in the right place at the right time, that you're looking at the right things, and that's a good part of the battle. That's 50% of the battle, is being at the right place, being at the right time, and know what you're looking at. And that's a lot of people that go into the market don't have a clue where to look, because there's thousands of stocks you could trade. There's thousands of strikes. There's so many expirations. Like, what do I pick? Do I pick, something with a higher delta, lower delta, closer expiration, further out expiration, blah, blah, blah. There's so many, like, when you're looking to make a trade and you narrow it down to the stock and the strike that you want with the expiration, there's a lot of thought that comes into that. So if you're at that place where you're like, if you're feeling bad, like, I missed this opportunity or did that, just be thankful that you're more than 50% of the way there to being a profitable trader, because you're looking at the right setups, you're looking at the right strikes, you're looking at the right stocks. The other thing was Snap. So Snap, we'll pull this up in the middle one here so we can get the... Snap was another one It had a $2 expected move for earnings, and it did move 278. And as you can see here, the options were up. The calls, let me actually make myself a little bit smaller here. The calls were up 160, 170, and that's pretty that's pretty good for this week. And for next week, what were they up? Another 150%, 140. The one opportunity that I was eyeing yesterday, the reason why I didn't do it is because of earnings. And we got a nice opportunity if we get rid of this chart here. Let's get rid of some more if we can. Okay, so yesterday morning it dipped down to 1430 area, and it was looking nice consolidation. This is another one that kind of snuck up on you. It didn't move as fast as Netflix in terms of consolidation. I mean, it was pretty much just like an all-day grind back up. But this was another opportunity that was missed that I was looking at, was when it was kind of bottoming out down here around the 1430 area. The reason why I didn't put it down is because of earnings, and now you're kind of looking at that and it's like, wow, you could have made some coins. So if you're looking at the 17 calls for this week, which I was, earlier in the week they were 15 cents. Yesterday they were 30 cents, which I thought my mind was a bit pricey. So it was like a $2 move. I wasn't expecting it to move 20%. That's for sure. So, that's kind of the thing. What's going on, Josh? Let's see, Tesla earnings. When is Tesla supposed to do earnings? 2 quarters in a row. I guess you did good. I mean, 50%. Oh, you sold Snap at open? Yeah, I mean, it's like I agree. The full plan, the full plan before entering. It's kind of like a game. You're getting ready, like football game or basketball game, whatever sport you've played, or if you've ever played sport. You mentally got to set up your plan of attack. What's going to work out? What's going to save me? Because you gotta save yourself from yourself. You can't just willy nilly go in, trade whatever you want to trade, and hope for the best. Like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to. That's not a good plan. So like for SPY, let's see if I can pull it up here. Okay, so for SPY right here in Discord, this was a good plan here. I said bought SPY 300 call for a day trade, looking for a run to 301. If it breaks below 299.55, I'll cut losses. And that was the plan. I stuck with the plan and I got out. Same with Microsoft. So Microsoft was, I put this trade on, target was 140, 141 area, and the reason why I got out is because it kept hitting the 140. It hit the 140 area a couple times. It kept getting rejected. So, I didn't want to lose any money. So I got out and figured I would allocate capital elsewhere if I needed to. So, that was a small. I mean, we at this point when I'm trading like a week out or more than a week out, and we're starting to get midweek, theta is going to really start ticking into my options. The theta is going to start getting more aggressive. Obviously the closer I get to the expiration. So now I put it on Monday, we're now on Wednesday, and I have not this Friday expiration, but next Friday expiration. But the closer I get to Friday and then push it to Monday, theta is going to really just chomp that up. So that's why, it wasn't really working out. Tesla missed. Yeah, Facebook beat, but Facebook beat, but they're back down to 207. They hit 216.50. So what was the expected move on Facebook? Let's see. Facebook was $13 plus or minus 13, and they close at 204. So now it's only 3. Man, Iron Condor for the win on that. Yeah, yo Billy, what's up? The Tesla, I think Tesla faked out a lot of people, because what was it, earlier this week or last week, they said they were expected to deliver 90,000 cars, and they delivered 95,000. Oh man, they're just cutting this. I'm getting some CNBC alerts. Yeah, Tesla post loss of 112 or $1.12 share. Let's take a look at this. And then I guess Ford also had a correction in earnings. Let's pull this up. We live with the news. If you're here right now, see what's going on. I see a lot of familiar faces in here. But yeah, I'll talk about what's going on with me in a minute. Kit's not here. Yeah, I'm gonna hit Kit up after the stream. If yo Jeff, what's up? Jeff Chilton. I've also cut back on the amount of Coke I've been drinking. I've been getting too fat sitting at my desk. Let's see here. Okay, what's going on here? Based on the average estimates, Tesla slows shares had declined 22% this year, so Tesla was already down 22% for the year. In their first quarter update, Tesla braced investors for another loss in the second quarter before returning to profitability in the second half of the year. Oh, that's what I was talking about. The company recently achieved a record in terms of vehicle production deliveries, selling 95,000 vehicles during the second quarter and producing 87,000 cars during that period, it said earlier this month. Let's see here. It said in the first quarter, Tesla also told investors the company should become free cash flow positive. They say this all the time. And expects a full year vehicle deliveries for 2029 to reach at least 360,000. Tesla's latest electric sedan and lowest offering to date. So not a whole lot of news here. I guess we got to wait for the call. Yeah, I agree with you. CNBC definitely can't be trusted. Are they gonna update this? It's not a whole lot of information in here. So, anyways, I guess we'll see what's going on with that. But yeah, I mean they're at 240. They're at 244 right now, and just, whew, not good. And then Ford's making a little rebound. You know, I was actually watching CNBC review this before I got on the live stream, and the one guy, what's his name, Josh. He has actually a pretty good Twitter handle. If you follow him, he's at Reformed Broker, I think it is, or something like that. But he's pretty funny, and he talks he was saying, if Ford is a $10 stock in the best economy in the world, what is it going to look like when they're in a recession? And made me think he does have a point. People keep investing in Ford and stuff because it's a low price stock right now, but I mean the economy's where it's at. If we go, I think I've looked at this before. I mean, Ford's been on a straight decline the last 5 years, probably longer. Well, they were, yeah. I mean, they went as high as in 2011. They went up to almost $19, and that was the last time. They broke 18 in 2014, and just been since 2014 pretty much straight decline. So I mean, it's not a growth stock. I mean, the problem with Ford is they've been struggling overseas, China and UK and all that. And now they're trying to compete. They're trying to compete with Tesla, but they don't have the problem with the only edge I think that Tesla has on these companies is that they have the technology, and Ford and them, they don't have the technology to put that out yet. But the problem with Tesla is they also don't have the infrastructure to push out vehicles as Ford and GM do, because Ford and GM are 100-plus-year-old companies, and they have distribution channels, and they have factories, and they have the whole back end, where Tesla's basically been starting from scratch for the last few years and building. They're building the stuff. One in China, Nevada, and some other places. So I'm not saying Tesla's going to go out of business, but I mean, it's Just like anything like that, it's hard to start a business. It's hard to be in business for yourself. I mean, Elon Musk. I mean, it's hard, and I think also it's tough for Elon Musk, and people said this before with like Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter and Square, that as you know, Elon is head of Tesla, SpaceX, boring company, and whatever that Neuralink, and then Jack Dorsey was CEO of Square and Twitter. And what people were saying, like when Twitter was doing, it always comes up when people are doing bad or stocks are doing bad. You know, when Twitter was really struggling and they were getting down really low, they were saying, you know, it's because Jack Dorsey splits his time between Square and Twitter, and they, you know, all this stuff. Like, I mean, and I get that, because it's definitely hard to focus. I mean, I own other businesses as well. I trade. I do YouTube. I do a lot of other things, and I do admit it's very hard to concentrate and do multiple things well. It's a lot easier to do one thing very well, and then move on. So, yeah, Tesla's expected move was 1970. So, you know, it's not easy to start a business, but you know, at the end, I think Tesla's going to be okay. Facebook is flat, probably goes down and open. Yeah. Facebook tends to disappoint. Let's go back to the 1 year. Yeah, I mean it needs to close this gap over here. It needs to close this gap from 218. Was from 180 to 219. But if that doesn't happen, I mean, it could definitely revisit the 180 area again. Definitely. Yeah, how much was on Tesla? Sorry, I'm jumping around a lot here. I'm just trying to keep up with you guys in the chat. Tesla, the 250 put. It was 355. I mean, it wasn't low risk. No, that's not the right put. 250. Yeah, 250 put. That was the. Why can't you find it? Come on. There we go. Okay. So I mean, it wasn't like it was cheap. I mean, it was, you know, it's still going to cost you It cost you 362. It was down 25% today, because Tesla was, you know, went from 258 up to 265, 264 at close. You know, but I mean, if you're in the money, what was the deltas on these things? So 70 cents, and we're 70 cents, and we're $30. I mean, you know. See here, 70 times, what is this now? $30 move? Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be up. Yeah, you're gonna be up a couple $1,000. You know. Yeah, 355 before close. If you're like, I'm gonna buy a put. I mean, let's see if the volume is skewed on these at all. Let's see if the market was leaning a certain way. So 8,000, 9,000. Let's go. Let's see here. It was definitely a lot more on the call side. I mean, look at this. 6,000 at 300 here. 6,000 volume at 300. 3,000 volume at 295. I mean, these people paid 80 cents for 300. You know, how much is that? Let's just do 6,000 times 80. That's $480,000 just for the 300 strike. That's going to be expiring worthless tomorrow or Friday. I mean, it's gonna be worthless for sure. You know, on that one strike, almost $500,000 on this one strike was just wasted. Well, I mean, not wasted. I mean, the option riders got them, right? option sellers. I mean, so it's not like somebody lost money. I mean, somebody did lose money, but it's not like it just went evaporated into thin air. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, but it looks like it looks like it was skewed highly to the call side. And then those would be the instances. That's why I don't necessarily like trading earnings, because that would be the instances. Well, I see it's very skewed to the call side. I'm going to buy a put, and then the calls work out. And that's why like earnings is just such a gamble. Yeah, I had to enable more strikes here now. FC. I mean, these are going to these right here are going to be taking a hit, because these were deep in the money calls here. These 30s, 230. I mean, even if you're in the money here at 225, I mean, this is not going to be worth 40. I mean, tomorrow, you're lucky to get, let's see, for like the 230, you're going to be lucky to get $400 for that. You're lucky it was going to be worth. You're going to be lucky it's worth $4. It was $3.70. People, and that's the other thing, that people buy options like, oh, I'll be safe deep in the money. But if you buy deep in the money options, you're also increasing your risk, because now it's at 230. We're at 233, 234. This was trading at this 230 here was trading at like between 35 and 37. We'll just call it 36. It's trading at $36, so $3,600, and tomorrow's gonna open up by like $500. Hopefully. Hopefully. KO. I think they just had earnings. What, did they have earnings yesterday? KO. I mean, this is actually a pretty good setup for a nice short here to 52. I actually didn't look at their earnings. I didn't look at their earnings. What their earnings? Oh, they said the beat. Yeah, I typically don't trade Coke, but I can see why people have been starting to. Because Coke is up 13% in the last year. They strong second quarter results came from about 2%. So revenue and guidance are up. So yeah, I mean, for short term, I'd be looking forward to like kind of revisit the 53, 52 area. But I mean, this is, I don't know if this is a multi-year high, but Coke has been a mover this year. I mean, this is the highest in 5 years. It's highest in 10 years. So 10-year high. I mean, for the long term, I wouldn't short it, but for short term, I mean, I think I would look at, You guys know how I roll. I have all calls and hedge them with GDX calls. HD, Baba, Roku, Shaq. Nice, Ahmed. I was looking at Ahmed. I was looking at Roku today, and Roku had a nice $4 move here, so it went from 104 up to 108. I mean, that was a nice win. If you're looking at, let's just look at the 105 calls on Roku. So this is probably another missed opportunity. The 105 calls, when touched, if you're looking at them side by side here, hit a low of 153 when it was down here like 104.20, and then hit a high of 371. It looks like when it was ramping up here. Pretty nice. I got some XOP calls before market close. One trade that I was looking at today, but I kind of talked myself out of, was you could see that the S&P recovered, but the Nasdaq did not recover. I mean, the Nasdaq recovered, but the Dow did not recover, mainly because the reason why was Boeing and Caterpillar were bringing down the Dow, and as you can see here, Boeing. Caterpillar was 139, came down to 130, and then Boeing has some issues because they're that 737 Max issue and production and all that. But what I was looking at here was DIA, the ETF. I don't necessarily trade it, but I saw opportunity that if the Dow is lagging, there's potential that it could catch up tomorrow or later this week. The one thing that you kind of have to be careful about, like buying calls on this. I mean, liquidity is not that great. So as you can see here, though, like right at the money, there's some good volume. 2,500 and 1,500 right at the two strikes here. And then for next week, I was looking at as well. Volume's not as high, but the 275 or 696 volume, which is pretty good. However, the bid and the ask were a little bit wide. So this week liquidity was a little bit better, a little bit tighter, but it only gave me 2 days. So I kind of was like, well. And with the news with Boeing and stuff, I was like, they could have a couple more down days before trying to bounce back up, But anyways, any other questions, anything you guys want to look at? One of the things that I've been working on, just want to touch base with you guys, I have been working hard on a training that I finished off the entire training except for the strategy section. So it's going to be about like strategies that I use, strategies that you can use to adapt to the market and kind of how to transform your losers into winners and that kind of thing. So that's what I'm working on now, and I'm getting a bunch of content together as well because I am going to Florida, not this weekend, but next weekend. Going to be hanging out there for my birthday, so just getting some stuff going and also working on a podcast as well. So, been busy. Hamed's got calls on BA this morning, and news came in a minute, went to 365 to 370. Immediate regret, yeah, I saw that, and it actually, now it's at 360. Yeah, maybe I went from 370. Yeah, that's how it goes. I mean, it was holding steady, and then just. But I guess we could have capped. The thing was, IV got really inflated here, so IV got really inflated, so it would have been a show kind of going down. As it was going down slower, IV would probably contract a little bit, Tobin's going to Florida this weekend. He's going on a cruise. Hope so too. Hamed, you had a 450 loss in 2 minutes. I'm sorry. Oh, you had calls. Oh. Yeah, it was kind of like Hamed. It's kind of like Tesla back in the day. If there's bad news frequently, there's more bad news to follow. Kind of like the Equifax hack. I've noticed that like any stock that has bad news, like when Tesla was having crashes, when there's a lot of bad news, especially the media. When there's a lot of bad news, the media looks particular in those areas. Like for Boeing, for instance, the media highlights those areas. Like when Tesla was having issues, or when Chipotle was having issues, you kind of get a trend here that when there's a couple bad news releases or news posts or whatever you want to call it, when there's a couple bad news releases, the reporters start to look there for more bad news because it's easy. It's easy to report on. It's easy work for them, and it gives them something to put on the news. And I know it sounds bad, but when there's bad news, so that's why I wouldn't go along Boeing, because they've had such bad news. They had bad earnings. 737 MAX thing has been a disaster. So you got to be just be aware that when stocks have a couple bad news, and Boeing's kind of having a bad year for news, just be aware that there's most likely bad news to follow until that kind of falls off. I mean, like Chipotle. Now that Chipotle is doing well, there's no news. So there's no news, and the stock is doing well. See how that kind of how that works. But Boeing, I don't think it's gonna like crash or anything. And they still have supply and demand, but that those bad news releases for releases for options traders just really jack with your expirations. So if you're holding stock, that's different. But when you're trading options, it's very very sensitive to time. Professor Danks. I like to use implied volatility. I like to use. I do use like the moving averages. Billy, I'm here for you. I'm back on. I'm getting back on track. Instead of doing like 5 days a week, I'm just right now trying to post 3 videos, 4 videos a week, and also mixing in some live streams. I'm just trying to do something that works for my schedule that we can coordinate. And also, I like connecting with the UVH fam. What's next for Microsoft? I miss you too, Billy. Well, Dan, do you like to be called Dan or Daniel? Mr. Ring. Either way. The way that I see Microsoft is that from the way I see it, it's been a slower mover, but I think the earnings was definitely undervalued in the stock price. I personally think that Microsoft's going to go to 150, 160, no problem. The question in my mind is how long is it going to take to get there? Is it going to come back down to 135 and try to hit before hitting 145? I mean, as you can see, it's trying to break out. It's at all time highs today. They had strong company, strong growth, strong earnings. There's not really anything to take it down except for time, which is going to eat away at your option pricing. So that's the bad part. The only thing is going to be time. I think Microsoft's going to be great. Microsoft's been a great investment if you were holding from earlier last year from the 90s sub 100 and now it's 140 and probably going to 150. They had great earnings, great company, great growth. What more do you want? Wall Street, like kind of like Apple. If they're making money, it's kind of like no questions asked. But then once that comes into question, then they kind of have a rough ride. But now Microsoft has been proven consistently quarter after quarter that they're growing. So it's obviously going to be a leader in the tech sector along with Amazon. I don't know. I was thinking Amazon Web Services. I put in AWS. Along with Amazon, it's back above 2,000. The thing is, I did post in Discord earlier today that the who was it? Attorney General is looking into Netflix, not into Amazon, because it thinks that it did something illegal to put retailers out of business. Where is that? Yeah, it says Amazon. It said Treasury Secretary Mnuchin says Amazon has destroyed the retail industry across the United States. It's absolutely right. The Attorney General is looking into it. So, I was thinking like, did these people not know how evolution of civilizations work or how things progress during time? We had the industrial age, and then I know Trump still thinks that coal is a good idea, but there's going to be a time and place for renewable energy and electric and all that stuff. Tobin, no, I was not. I was not. I gotta get on I gotta check my plane here for next week. That's the other thing for like Boeing's bad press is like you got people checking. Oh, what kind of plane am I riding on to go to where I want to go? That doesn't tell me. So I hope for the best. I hope for the best. I don't think it's a 737 MAX. I don't think they'll let them fly them right now, but that's not really a Treasury Secretary should be commenting. Yeah, it can't be. So it's just frustrating that the government tries to interfere, kind of like what they did with Microsoft back in the 2000s when they're trying to split the companies up, and the government is afraid because Facebook, Amazon, Google, Microsoft are more powerful than they are, and they understand what happening in the elections and all that stuff. So, it's just tough. It's tough. It's tough when the government interferes with the marketplace. Now, if Amazon and those people were doing something illegal, paying bribes to whatever, and then that's different. That's different. But if they're just operating normally and growing their business, and it puts other people out of business, it's the other business's fault for going out of business. I mean, like look at Sears, JCPenney, all those big catalog companies, and now Amazon's a catalog company. Who did Sears and JCPenney and all those people put out of business? Just saying, they had to put out somebody. Oh, all the mom and pop shops, right? So 100 years ago, when those stores came out and they put all the mom and pop shops out of business, all the small businesses, and they're like, oh, we're going to put everything in a big box. And then another store came like Amazon and just crushed them. I mean, it happens. Where are you up to, Nick? So Hamed, I've been running my other business. Things kind of got turned up. Lost some staff members, had to reorganize. Just basic drama in the business, and you have to do what you have to do to survive, and that's just one of the things. So now I'm in a good place with that. Caught up, getting back into the swing of things, trading, live streaming, posting videos, and just getting back to what I love. King Jacob, I also have a IT business, managed services, but it's not that. It's if anybody's familiar with the IT business, it's pretty cutthroat, and it's very quick moving, especially in the Chicago area. So when things turn up, things turned up, and they turned up. They turned up for sure. But no, we're good though. Things are good. I can't complain. I mean, been doing. I haven't worked for an employer, for someone else in over 10 years. I'm coming up on my 34th birthday. I'm definitely blessed, to be able to have the last 10 years being self-employed and having people employing other people, giving them jobs, giving them benefits. It's a good thing. It's I definitely enjoy that. I wouldn't want to have it any other way. And that was the goal. The goal was when I was 18, 20 I just wanted to be my own boss, own my own thing, do my own thing, and I'm just blessed to be able to do that last 10 years and moving forward here. So anyways, guys, been great chatting. Definitely let's reconnect soon. Hit me up in Discord, hit me up on Facebook, whatever the means are, Twitter, Instagram, the thing. Obviously stay safe, stay green. It's always us versus herd. Take care. We'll be here.